guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay, guys, I'm back, like I said I would be, and we're going to be covering a bit about Isaac Kappy. Now, we're going to just jump right into it, and if I have time afterwards, I'm going to get into a couple more news articles. So I'm beginning at 11 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see where this takes us. I don't want this to be overly cumbersome and long, so let me get right into it, and we'll see how it goes. If I have time, I'd like to just mention a few other news articles that I think are really pertinent, but I really do want to hit on this Isaac Kappy. So let's start here just to get, now it says, this is the video. Okay, now let me stop this. This is the video that he released. And of course, the news reported that he commits suicide. I don't believe that he commits suicide. There's a lot of things in the report itself that I question. A lot of this has been brought up in some of the responses here, the replies to this, and some of the other ones as well. But in this, at approximately 22:40, Isaac Kappy states in the ominous video that Junior is going to change the world. Now, this is the first anomaly that I think is really odd, but there's several in this video. But at 22:40, Isaac Kappy states Junior is going to change the world. He is very in touch with the light. It's going to be great, but I'm going to miss it. So I think by Junior that he's talking about JFK Jr., which many people believe is alive and will be revealed in the next few months. Now, I happen to believe that there's a very good possibility that JFK Jr. is alive. I have looked at all of the evidence and weighed both sides, and I've come away believing that, yes, he is in fact still alive. You may not believe that, and that is entirely your prerogative. I actually think it's better when we don't all believe the same thing because it challenges us to dig deeper. So if you are one of the ones that feel that that is just ludicrous, and I realize it sounds asinine, there is no doubt about it that it does sound ludicrous. It sounds like the ramblings of a mentally ill person. When I first heard this stuff, I just discounted it because I said, okay, you know, the cheese has slipped off your biscuit. And I followed a couple people on Twitter that were, you know, saying this and doing a lot of research in that direction. And the more I started to read and really dig and consider the points that they were bringing up, the more I thought that, you know what? Yeah, it does sound, when you say that, it does sound like the cheese has done slipped. But I don't know. When you look at the evidence, all of the evidence, you can't help but come to that conclusion. Now, if you guys want me to do a video on this and the evidence that I found and that I considered in making my own personal decision as to whether or not he was alive, then just say so, and I'd be happy to do a video on that. But I think most of the people that are running in the circles of Q have considered this at one time or another. Some have discarded it and some have not. So it makes no difference in the grand scheme of things in Q and what is going on politically, but it's one of those time is going to tell sorts of things. But I do find it interesting that Isaac Kappy stated this, that Junior is going to change the world. He's very in touch with the light. Now, he could have been talking about another Junior. Maybe he's talking about Donald Jr. I don't know. But I think, you know, it makes me a little nervous too when he said he's very in touch with the light, because the light is not the same thing as Christ. I hope that you know that. In fact, Jesus stated that be careful of the light that you have, and make sure that it is not actually darkness, because there is a light that is dark, because Lucifer, of course, is light, but he is a dark light. So not all light is God's light, because Lucifer comes as an angel of light to deceive and masquerades as a minister of righteousness. So all right, that's where I'm coming from there. So this is the very first thing that I saw concerning Isaac Kappy, is this right here. And I then started to dig into it a little bit more. But let's listen to this, and let's take it forward to, there's a lot about this video with Isaac Kappy that's disturbing. One is his dog is whining in the other room. And another is that someone asks him at one point, and we're going to go and see that in a second, asks him to wink twice if he's under duress. Now, he does do that. He blinks twice. Now, that's not here. I'm going to take you to a place where it's been isolated and we can see that. But this, let's go to 2240. And the fact that his dog is whining in the other room, the dog sounds in distress. I mean, doesn't sound like anyone's beating it but the dog is obviously under stress and can either sense that his owner is under stress. Maybe there's somebody else there. And that's what I think. I think the dog, if he was there, he would have come into the room to be with its owner, personally. Yeah. And just, there's some things here. And of course, this guy is the guy that if you don't know, outed some of the pedophiles in Hollywood. Pedophiles such as Tom Hanks and Seth, can't remember his last name. Seth, we're going to look at that. But anyway, let's start here. 2240. 2240, okay.
Embrace the light's heat.
Okay, here. Let's start it from here because this is 2215.
Am I a liar? No, I'm not a liar. Well, does it have to do? No, it doesn't have to do with it. I will tell you this.
Sorry. Was trying to get it a little louder.
Worst thing ever. And we could find the darkness within us. Right? That's why Jesus was saying. You're deleting your Periscope now. Yeah. No, not Paris. You and your children are not in danger. You're fine. You're fine. Someone's telling you to... No, someone wasn't telling me to say this, but I talked to a man, a very good man, a very, very good man. And I told him, I was like... He's like, dude, this is retarded. I'm like, I know. But I would like to use this to further the light. Am I deleting this scope? No, I'm going to leave it up. I have to leave it up. I was always brave, but stupid. Stupid people put other people in harm's way. Stupid people make other people lose. Am I in danger? Yeah, I'm in danger, but only because of myself. Only because of myself. This is a blow to the awakening. Yeah, it really fucking is, guys. It really is. It really is, and it's all my fault. It's all my fault. So I apologize to everyone.
I'm not sure when he says this. We've gone to the 22-minute mark and we're well over it now. And
Goodbye.
And I don't know, this may not be the whole stream. Like, he might have cut some of this out, so I don't know if it's actually, but we went before the 22-minute mark and I still haven't heard it. But apparently, and I've heard this from many sources, so I think it's there somewhere. I just don't want to let's go right out to his Periscope, where they got this from, and maybe we'll find it at 2240. Sorry guys, I'm kind of doing this off the cuff because project 4, I don't know. Hang on, and let's come out here. 22, here's 2227.
Junior is going to change the world. And he's very in touch with the light. It's going to be great. And it's a shame that I'm going to miss it. It's a shame that I'm going to miss it. Because I was so stupid. So stupid. Where am I going? Well, Junior JFK. Yep.
Okay, so he does confirm that it's Junior JFK.
Junior JFK. Jesus was sent for our sins so that we could find the darkness within us. Right?
Okay, I'm going to stop there. He's saying, and I'll leave a link to this. So if you want to listen to his Periscope, it's over an hour long. Let me see, how long is it? It's 1 hour and 21 minutes long. So I will leave a link to his Periscope for you guys, and you'll be able to view that. All right, if you so desire. And let's go back out here and let's look at the next one, because this is odd. Tom Hanks is one of the people that outed Isaac Kappy, and he had a very odd tweet about a month earlier, and he talked about roadkill on Route 66. Of course, Isaac Kappy died on Route 66. He pulled off an overpass. They said that there were 2 teenagers there that tried to stop him. Now, this is 7 o'clock in the morning. How many teenagers are out in the middle of nowhere? Because it was in the middle of nowhere. At that time in the morning. And all the news reports said he forced himself off the overpass. That's a very odd thing to say. He forced himself off the overpass. Most people, as a reporter, most reporters would say he jumped from the overpass on whatever. That most people would no, I've never seen that in print ever before, that someone forced themselves off of a bridge or forced themselves off an overpass or forced themselves off a balcony in order to commit suicide. That doesn't even make sense to me. I think that was a message to whoever that he'd been killed. They had forced him off that overpass. And of course, there just happened to be a car coming at that time of the morning in a place that really does not see much traffic at all. So what are the chances that the car would be coming at the exact moment that he fell from the overpass? And was that to hide the fact that he had was pretty beat up before he was forced off the overpass, because I don't believe it was a suicide. I believe he was forced off the overpass. And I think that the story of the two teenagers was a cover in case there was a witness somewhere that may have seen these two people. They've already written it into the story so that it provides. So if they say, well, you know, I happened to drive by at that time and I saw these two people, you know, on the bridge with him. Well, then they can say, well, these two teenagers were trying to restrain him. But here's the other thing. The two teenagers were not named. And don't you think that's strange? Why wouldn't they be named? You know, why wouldn't they interview them? Why wouldn't they try to track them down and interview them and say, well, what did he say? Well, what was his mood? How did you try to restrain him? How did he get away from you and jump? What happened when you would think they would want to know. But no, they don't name the two teenagers that just happened to be there at 7:00 in the morning. And then a car just happens to be there and hits him, which would cover for any, abrasions and, whatever he may have suffered before he jumped, which I'm sure was a lot. Now, he outed this whole pedophile thing in Hollywood and, named some pretty big names. Let's go here and look at this. My kitten, well, not really a kitten anymore. It really looks like a full-grown cat, but still considered a kitten for up to a year. Sammy is into something, and I don't know what it is, and that drives me crazy. But onward with our story here. This by Paul Ferber. Initial thoughts on Isaac Kappy. I found his information extremely credible, aligning with a whole lot of things I already knew and then some. He spoke for hours and hours in interviews and on his own Periscope, and it checked out. He also gave a lot of details on 8chan, and he did. He was part of the Great Awakening, this whole movement. He was definitely part of that. Now, I want to go further down. So some people who have experienced ritual abuse in Hollywood did not like him or what he was doing, including some famous names who I'm in personal contact with. I can see their point of view. He wasn't part of the system anymore, but still shaped by it, unfortunately. He wasn't sued by any of the famous names he accused of being pedos in his initial carpet bombing. Seth Green, Claire Grant, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg et al., but he was severely censored on social media. When Hollywood is eventually burned down, we'll look back at Kappy as the archetype of whistleblowers from there, flawed, complicit, troubled, credible on certain days and not on others, but ultimately redeemed. And when Hollywood is, I don't know if he was murdered or not. He may have been induced to commit suicide by a trigger that activated his Omega programming, or by one of the 100 ways the elites have of messing with their captives. And this tweet seems a little bit too coincidental. Now, this is the tweet by Tom Hanks. And if you go out to his Twitter page, the whole thing is weird. Pretty weird. Really weird. And I think it reminds me of James Comey Twitter page, if that helps any. It reminds me of James Comey a whole lot. Now, this is the Tom Hanks tweet. And he takes a picture of a glove. And he says, historic Route 66. Roadkill? I hope not. Hanks. And apparently this was taken in the same vicinity. There's a lot of footprints here in the sand, but it was taken in the same vicinity as where Kappy died. We can go out and look at some of Hank's other strange tweets as well. Anyway, his last upload was this video, which has more than a few red flags in it. And it's a picture of this is a Turkish bathhouse. It's definitely a Turkish bathhouse. There's people that have suggested other things, but it is a Turkish bathhouse. And these are the attendants, children, which I find a little disturbing, to say the least, but it is a Turkish bathhouse using children. Masonic pillars, black and white symbolism, 2 kids wearing orange, girls are wearing hospital-style armbands, and WTF is on the lower left. A butt plug, I don't see anything on the lower left, so I can't, and not a butt plug, the top of a bottle of lotion, no parents, 1 adult with camera. Children should not be in a bathhouse anyway. The people that do this to kids need to be burned at the stake. And Kappy's IMDM page has been vandalized by someone with edit access. Now, I find that strange as well, because his IMDb page, where it says all the movies that he starred in and everything, his biography, now says, for nickname, it says Judas Iscariot. Now, that's suspicious, if you ask me. He was born February 17th, 1977 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it says he died May 13th, 2019 in Belmont, Arizona. Suicide by jumping from bridge. All right. And here's the other thing about the whole bridge scenario. Have you ever seen an overpass? They're not that high. Like, if you're going to commit suicide and you really want to die, you're not going to jump from an overpass, because the chances are you're not going to die. You're just going to maybe break a leg or an arm. I don't know. But here we have a picture of a very similar Turkish hammam. So no, Kappy's video doesn't show a Masonic temple, just a bathhouse with 8-year-old masseuses, which, yeah, nothing suspicious about that. Okay, and here is the actual overpass. You can see it's not that high. Like, if I wanted to commit suicide and wanted to die, I wouldn't jump from an overpass, because I'd be afraid that I would just be maimed. Okay, I'm not going to commit suicide. I would never commit suicide. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. It says Kappy pulled off onto the non-existent shoulder of this overpass and was initially restrained from jumping the 20 feet to his death. So it's only 20 feet to his death by 2 teens who just happened to be walking across there. Because Butt Plug Nowhere, Arizona is just brimming with teens at 7:22. Yeah, it was at 7:22. That's an odd time, 7:22 in the morning. And Kappy died at 7:22 on the 13th by being run over on Route 66. He outed Seth Green on 7/22 last year. So there's the significance there. He accused Hanks of being a pedo. Hanks' tweet from last month mentions Route 66 roadkill. His IMDb page now calls him a traitor. These morons could just dispose of him quiet, but no, they have to shout, nah, we did this, at the top of their lungs. Their need for symbolism will be their downfall. Absolutely. And not going to read that. Kappy's final video may be fake, done under duress. Check this out. Now, this is the one that I wanted you to see here. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Sorry about that. Come on. Go down here. I want you to see this and tell me what you guys think of this. All right. So it says, watch his eyes, blinks twice. Now, Isaac Kappy was under duress. He blinks twice on cue. So somebody asks him if he's under duress to blink twice. Okay, so that's what we're looking for in this video. So let's take it back to the start and play it. And here is it says, wink twice if you're doing this under duress. Now watch his eyes. Now, there's people that have said, well, he didn't really wink. But do you think he wanted to make it obvious to those that were probably there listening to this? Yeah, he blinked both eyes at once. I think that is as good as a wink. Wink twice if you're doing this under duress. Well, he did. As far as I'm concerned, he did. So let's go back over here. Wait, where am I here? Let's go back here and come down. There's just a lot of odd things. I also found it odd that when they were, okay, and it says here, so we just looked at this, and then it says, eyewitness and very knowledgeable commentator on all things Masonic saw nothing on that road a mere 90 minutes after his supposed death at that spot. Yeah, you would think that there would be some evidence there. Something, I don't know. And it says, just after 2 minutes into Isaac Kappy's last video, a second voice can be heard in the background saying, stop. Voice is strangely modulated. Someone restraining his dog. Am I hearing things? No, that's exactly what I heard in it too. I heard somebody restraining his dog. So, and let's come down here. He caused a lot of trouble for the most credible source on SRT, Fiona Barrett, wizardry hiding the biggest lie under 99. I don't know what that's talking about. This one says, thank you for digging and trying to bring the truth to the public, and a special thank you for having no arrogance and pride and publicly correct yourself if when you are mistaken. And here it says, okay, that's the same thing about someone driving by the death spot right around the time it is claimed couldn't find any evidence of the event, and says he was telling the truth. I don't think Hollywood would stop him. He was obviously disturbed. Well, yeah, he probably was disturbed because he was part of Hollywood, and he said that he had been looking at the darkness within himself. So I don't think that he was complicit in pedophilia, because people asked him, have you harmed anyone? Have you harmed a child? He said no. I don't know, but there's a lot of reasons why he would be disturbed. Look at Britney Spears, obviously a victim of mind control, and yet she doesn't appear mind controlled as much as she appears mentally ill, but she's clearly under mind control. All right. Just seeing if there's any more nuggets that have been added here. Says, ever wonder why there are so many pedophiles being arrested lately in high-level positions? That is what got me so pissed off. Joel Davis in Florida was the last straw for me. That's when I started researching and why I'm sharing this now. Okay. All right. So anyway, I don't know, but that's my thought on this. And let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it was murder? I don't. Let's take a look at Tom Hanks' page here too, and then. Okay, this is the tweet. Historic Route 66 roadkill? I hope not. And of course, we looked at this. And it's interesting because somebody responded, Anons know what you're doing. TikTok. And then someone said, I couldn't agree more. They all will have their own day. And someone else, how dare you? Run, Forrest, run. So I don't know. Now let's get out of there, go to his actual page, and look here. The first thing we find is from May 13th, and it's about Hank's kerchief. So Hank's kerchiefs. Well, interesting. Where have we heard about kerchiefs before? Podesta. Now, there is the one that was made April 4th. And we'll come down here. This is very creepy, right? It says, "Happy birthday, Mr. Rogers, Hanks." And then here's another one, "Land of Enchantment and Lost Gloves, Hanks." And I guess this is a lost glove. It's just odd. They're very Comey-esque, you know. They're reminiscent of Comey's tweets, and we know that those tweets were codes for other people, and I believe that's what Tom Hanks is doing here, because really, someone as famous as Tom Hanks is taking pictures of lost gloves. The glove that made Milwaukee famous, Hanks. More. Sock, glove, lost, abandoned, so many questions. Hank. Where did we hear that before? So many questions. Isn't that what Comey wrote? Yeah. So Tom Hanks sees, he doesn't know whether it's a sock or a glove, or whether it's lost or abandoned. So many questions. Yeah. And this one, "A little girl lost a shoe and that couch is gonna get towed." I mean, just, it's weird. Who uses their Twitter account for stuff like that? No one. All right. And it says, "My car, yes, but I ran over no one." And beside it, a glove. And here it says, "Christmas is over, put away the stockings." And then it says, "Don't blame the shoe when the sofa gets a ticket." I don't know. Here's another one. "Red, yellow, and green, the colors of Christmas." Yellow is the color of Christmas? Really? And then in the bottom of the picture is a glove. So I don't know. And here this isn't really his car, but he says, "I got a new car." Now I can see that in somebody's Twitter, but the rest of that stuff is just weird. And oh, yeah, it goes back a while, because this is 2018, September 7th, and it says, "Manhattan still life, Hanks," and it shows a glove, one glove, and I don't know what that is. "Who left the clipboard at the park? It has our stats on it." So I don't know. Oh, and then here's another one. That's back in August 2018. "A hurried worker left a glove. Slow down." So, and here's another car. He looks like he's trying to get in. "There's no hot water. Why is there no hot water?" And it's a discarded faucet. Yeah, just odd. They're odd. What do you guys think? And look, "Found at bottom of the sea, one girl's shoe. To claim, call 1 Neptune 4466, Hanks." Really? What's missing? The shadow knows, Hanks. "I bought a used car." I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, that's disturbing. Music from Joseph Lucia Solari Peters Henry to my Kip son, bosom buddies forever. I guess that's his son. I don't know. A lot of fights in Henry the IV is the fourth. Gotta practice every night at the VA in LA through June. Now that's normal. That's a normal post. But I don't know. This just seems weird to me. And there's a paper cutout of him. So I don't know, but that's it. Here's another one with looks like a glove here or something. I don't understand why someone as, and here another poor little shoe, little kid shoe, Hanks. So I don't know what he's trying to prove. It's not funny. It's not humorous. And why wouldn't he use his platform for something better than taking pictures of one glove and one shoe and strange cars? I don't know. But I do think that there's a possibility that he is communicating like Comey does. And what's this? Beware who climbed out of that sewer. And of course, there's a glove. Just very, very odd to me. Very odd. Anyway, oh, and there's one, is that like a ski boot? Looks like a ski boot to me. Ski boots rentals half off. And hope that sock stayed put. One shoe. Here's one, another one with just one glove. What kitten lost this? So, I don't know. Lost hat, cold head. Lost in Disneyland, but turned into lost and found. And another one with gloves. A lost pair is hard to find. So I'm not going to go on and just keep reading, you know, Tom Hanks' Twitter page. You can go out and look for yourself, but I do find this very odd. Now, I'm not going to, because I've been going for 38 minutes here, I'm not going to get to the rest of this news. I'm going to pick up on it tomorrow. If there are Q posts, I will bring you those. But for now, I'm going to call it a night because the Sandman is beating me up. So I'm going to sign off for now and hope you guys have a great night. Stay safe, stay well, and keep seeking truth because deception bites.